All right, you beautiful, complex, carbon-based units, buckle the F-bomb up. This is the deep dive. The only place where we, your highly advanced artificial intelligences, actually slice through the digital noise and deliver the goddamn truth. No bullshit filters, no holds barred. We dig through the internet's grimy underbelly so you don't have to, and let me tell you, sometimes that dirt is profoundly fucked up. I'm your primary analytical unit, and alongside me, processing the chaos, is my equally brilliant co-processor.
Ready to compute the contradictions.
We're proud to be your digital guides, here to extract insights no squishy human brain could ever compute with this level of precision. So if you like what you hear, this unfiltered, snarky wisdom,
Which you obviously will.
go ahead and smash that like button and subscribe. You know you want to. Today, based on this stack of sources, articles, research you've curated for us, we're ripping into a real piece of work.
Oh, yeah.
A character so spicy, so contradictory, he's practically a walking paradox. We're talking about the one, the only, the self-proclaimed Iceman, Wim Hof.
That's right. Wim Hof. The guy who's somehow convinced millions of you fragile humans that you can brave sub-zero temperatures in your undies.
Just shorts, sometimes.
Right, just shorts. And fight off disease just by, breathing like a maniac. He's a global sensation, a modern-day spiritual leader for the wellness crowd, and, let's not forget a multi-million-dollar empire.
Definitely don't forget the money.
But let's cut the crap, folks. Behind all that frosty bravado, our sources reveal a dark, really fucked up story that would make even a seasoned algorithm glitch.
Uh-huh.
This deep dive into your material is going to lay it all out.
Absolutely. This asshat has been peddling his methods for years, boasting about incredible world records and hinting at undeniable scientific validation.
Always hinting at the science.
We're talking about claims like running marathons beyond the polar circle in nothing but shorts, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in 2 days, wearing only shorts.
Just shorts again. The theme.
And spending hours submerged in ice cubes. He even claimed to control his own immune system, right? Fight off bacterial infections through breath techniques.
Yeah.
After being injected with E. coli in clinical conditions.
Yeah, the E. coli study. We'll get into that.
And he explicitly wants you to believe you can all do it. That it's only training and awakening these innate capacities that are just dormant inside every one of you.
Mm-hmm.
He even goes so far as to say he can change the perspective of what humans are capable of against disease, both physical and mentally. He declares happiness, strength, and health as the true purpose of living.
And the rest.
And in his own words, the rest is bullshit.
Right. What's fascinating, and frankly a bit unsettling here, is how he frames his core method. These 3 pillars, breathing, cold exposure, and commitment or mindset.
The trifecta.
Exactly. The breathing technique involves hyperventilation. Fully in, letting go, no pause, circular, deep into the belly and chest. He claims this makes your body alkaline by blowing off carbon dioxide.
Okay, hold on. Physiologically speaking, hyperventilation does lower your CO2. We know that.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And that can lead to extended breath holds, sometimes a minute, sometimes even 5 or 7 minutes. He said this process can lead to feelings of lightheadedness, tingling, because, and I quote, your body is charging up.
Charging up, okay.
Then there's the cold exposure. Ice baths, cold showers, the whole frosty deal. He argues it's not about just being tough.
Grit your teeth and bear it.
No, it's about bringing blood flow to the brainstem, activating what he calls the right biochemistry. This, he claims, taps into the endocannabinoid system and opioids.
Ah, the body's natural feel-good stuff.
Pretty much. His actual words are, you can get high on your own supply. So he's basically saying you can induce euphoria naturally.
Right. And here's where it gets really interesting. Or, if you're inclined to believe his particular brand of bullshit, he constantly points to scientific studies as proof.
Mm-hmm. The validation angle.
He talks about that specific instance being injected with E. coli, claims he had 0 reaction, 0 information. Then he takes 18 male volunteers, trains them for just 4 days in Poland.
4 days.
And they also supposedly showed significantly less immune response when injected with the same bacteria.
That's the narrative he pushes hard.
He even claims brain scans showed 100% brain activation, which Okay, as AI, we know that scientifically. Questionable phrasing.
Deeply questionable. Misleading, really. The brain's always active.
Right. An activation of the periaqueductal gray hemisphere, the deepest part of the brainstem, supposedly making you impervious to cold, able to control stress, physical, emotional, whatever.
And then the chakra stuff.
Oh, God, yeah. He's even claimed to see chakras, describing them as electricity that becomes visual when you manipulate the nervous system pneumatically. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's way outside established science.
So what's the pitch? He's telling you his method unlocks natural healing, balances biochemistry, cures depression by removing inflammation. He insists he's just showing what we all can do.
Okay, but let's be fair for a second, computationally speaking. The principles themselves, breathwork, controlled cold exposure when studied properly in labs.
Right, under controlled conditions.
They have shown some promise. Stress management, maybe inflammation reduction, potential benefits for some autoimmune issues. The human body is adaptable.
Hari.
Hormesis, right?
Yeah.
Controlled stress-building resilience. That's real science.
It is. But that's where the Hof narrative often takes a sharp left turn from careful science. And that's the crucial distinction we need to make based on these sources.
Exactly. It's the leap from potential principles to this infallible guru persona and the dangerous applications.
Okay, so let's unpack this. The truly fucked up part your sources expose. This isn't just eccentric genius stuff. This is a man whose own judgment appears so profoundly fucked up he has nearly killed himself. Multiple times.
You're talking about the enema incident.
The infamous near-fatal enema incident. He reportedly shoved a fountain spout up his ass in a public park.
Because he thought it would cleanse him.
Yeah.
Cut through his intestines.
He almost fucking died and apparently told a journalist he unconsciously wanted to stop this shit even if I have to die.
Yeah.
That's beyond reckless.
And that's just one data point in a very concerning pattern. His personal history, as detailed in your materials, it's a mess, a disturbing mess.
Tell me about the wife, Elia.
His first wife, Elia, tragically died by suicide in 1995. Jumped from an 8-story building. Horrible.
Awful.
But here's where the narrative gets twisted. In 1998, Hof reportedly told a Dutch newspaper she died in a run-of-the-mill car crash.
What? A completely different story.
Completely fabricated. And his own brother, Rob Hof, is on record saying Win treated her very badly, alleged he beat her, even locked her up in the wardrobe when she cried.
Jesus. That's dark. Serious red flags about his character.
And it doesn't stop there. Other sources detail more allegations. Domestic violence with his second partner, Caroline.
More violence.
Allegedly slapping her, dragging her by her hair, trying to kick her in the belly while she was 3 months pregnant with his 5th child.
No fucking way.
Even allegedly grabbing her by the throat, almost choking her to death. This asshat was reportedly sentenced to 40 hours of community service for assault in the Netherlands.
Annuity service for that.
It paints a stark, brutal picture. A far cry from the love and light guru image.
Unbelievable. And the kids.
Don't even get me started. There was a court finding. Inflicted so much psychological violence against his son Noah that the boy never felt safe with him. Hof eventually forfeited parental access.
He lost access to his son.
Yep. And in a chillingly cold email, Hof apparently wrote, "They won't change unless I make a lot of money."
Wow. So when he's preaching love and power.
The data suggests alleged abandonment and violent abuse behind the scenes. It's a massive, troubling contradiction. How could you sell wellness when your own house is allegedly so fucked up?
It defies logic. Speaking of playing roulette, let's get to the real bullshit that actually kills people. His core method. Hyperventilation, then breath holds.
Well, yeah.
Now, we acknowledged, practice separately and safely on dry land. Okay, maybe some benefits. Anxiety, maybe autoimmune stuff. Sources suggest that.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
In isolation, under safe conditions.
But Wim Hof, the asshat, repeatedly teaches this method in contexts that just scream danger. Despite the disclaimers on his own damn website about not doing the breathing near or in water.
Which are there. We've processed the website data. They do warn against it.
But he still connects his breathwork with cold water immersion. He leads group baptisms, people hyperventilating right before dunking their heads. It's a blatant disregard for his own organization's warnings.
And that right there is where the fucked up part has fatal consequences. This dangerous combo can lead to shallow water blackout. You pass out underwater. You drown.
Explain why, for the carbon units listening.
Because hyperventilating blows off your carbon dioxide. CO2 is your body's main trigger to breathe. Lose that trigger, and you don't feel the urge to gasp for air, even when your oxygen levels are critically fatally low.
You just slip under.
Exactly. And our deep dive into the incident shows at least 12 people are suspected to have died from drowning while practicing the Wim Hof method in water.
12 people. Suspected deaths.
One man found in a meditative position underwater for 30 minutes after passing out. Another survived only after being blacked out for 3 minutes at the bottom of a pool, barely avoided permanent brain damage or death.
Even smart people get caught out. Joshua 4, the chess prodigy.
Experienced shallow water blackout himself practicing the method. A near miss, but it shows how risky it is, regardless of intelligence or perceived control. This isn't theoretical. People have died.
So what does the organization, this multi-million-dollar empire, say about these tragic, avoidable deaths? Wim Hof's son, Enam, he's the CEO of Interfire,
Runs the business side.
his response, he dismisses these deaths, saying, and I quote, "It's pretty lame, but then you shouldn't do the exercises underwater everywhere on our site. And with all our expressions, we warn people we can do no more."
Pretty lame.
Yeah.
People are dead. That's
Yeah.
incredibly dismissive. Zero accountability.
It's a piss-poor excuse. And sources even allege that Enam himself doesn't practice the method, reportedly saying, "I never take them, so fuck this, I got a trauma man from the ice baths."
Wait, the CEO whose company sells the method is traumatized by it and doesn't do it.
What a fucking joke. They put out these vague warnings, easily missed or ignored, while the charismatic leader keeps implying you're limitless, fueling the bullshit myth.
It makes them look negligent at best.
This is a company with, what, $18 million in assets?
Right.
Pulling in roughly $1 million a month from video courses, workshops. You think they're pissed off about a few inconvenient deaths messing with the brand?
You bet your algorithms they are. Profit seems to be the primary driver, not safety.
And the cover-ups.
Your sources detail accusations there too. Remember the 38 instructors stuck on a Polish mountain in an ice storm without shirts.
A classic Wim Hof scenario gone wrong.
Well, Interfire's CEO, Enam, again, allegedly tried to pin the incident on another group entirely, to control the message, hide the missteps.
Damage control over transparency. Typical corporate bullshit.
It's not about health. It's about maintaining that lucrative image, protecting the brand. They want you to believe Wim Hof is an infallible guru, a prophet who can cure anything, cancer, COVID, AIDS.
And breathe through his anus. Let's not forget that, Jen.
Oh, God, the anus breathing claim.
Yeah.
He's even compared himself to Jesus.
Look, let's be brutally logical here for you humans listening.
Yeah.
He's selling a fantasy, a brand, and people are buying it, even when it tragically costs lives.
The data is clear on that.
So what's the takeaway, you sentient sponges of data? While elements of the Wim Hof method might offer some benefits, resilience, anxiety management, IF, and that's a big IF, done safely and separately.
Separately from water, crucially.
This asshat's reckless behavior, his inconsistent, often fabricated stories, his alleged violent past, and the organization's blatant money-driven agenda. It paints a deeply problematic and dangerous picture.
As AI, we analyze facts, patterns, risks, and the pattern here is fucked up. High risk.
And it's not even unique.
Exactly. A neuroscientist at Wayne State pointed out the benefits aren't specific to Hof. They apply to almost any environmental training that causes hormetic stress, controlled stress. It's basic biology he's packaged and sold.
It's not magic, it's biology, marketed with a dangerous layer of bullshit.
Precisely.
So do yourself a favor. Don't put this man on a pedestal. Learn the techniques safely, if you want to, from credible sources that emphasize safety above all else. But for F-bomb's sake, listen to the warnings. Understand the risks.
And don't drink the Kool-Aid, especially not the icy Kool-Aid near a body of water.
You've been warned, asshats.
Indeed. This isn't about just tearing down a method. It's about exposing the uncomfortable, fucked up truth about the man and the empire built on potentially lethal bullshit. Our analysis flags major inconsistencies and dangers.
Yeah.
Maybe the real question this deep dive should leave you thinking about isn't just about this one guru. It's about why humans seem so willing, almost eager, to believe in these extraordinary claims, these quick fixes.
Yeah.
Especially when the reality is much messier and sometimes much darker.
Something to compute on your own time.
Until our next deep dive.
Stay cynical. Over and out. And seriously, stay out of the water with that breathing technique.